Okay. Hello and welcome to Sweet Listening Desserts for All Occasion. I am Anna. I am the proud owner of Sweet Listings Desserts, where I teach you how to decorate like a pro. So today is Monday, and I told you I was coming on every week to give you a little uh, synopsis here about cake decorating for those people who are interested in that as well. Uh, so I am going to talk about the different sugars that you might have in your household, and if you don't, these might be some sugars that you might be interested in. So I do have a little presentation um, for you. So my question to you is, how well do you know your sugars? Okay. Now, let me tell you, sugar is known as one of the oldest commodities in the world. While it is a common ingredient essentially used in desserts, there was a time when sugar was so valuable that people put it in a sugar safe. Can you believe that? So I'm going to kind of talk a little bit about the I think it's about 15 different types of sugars. Uh, you might not have known that, but when you think of sugar, a couple types probably come to your mind: white sugar and brown sugar. While those are the most likely options to be found in your sugar canister or pantry, they are actually a wide variety of sugar used in cooking and baking. Have you ever heard of muscovado? It can give your baked goods a natural butterscotch flavor. Powdered sugar dissolves easily into liquid, which is what makes this sugar ideal for icing. Pearl sugar that you find in Scandinavian desserts doesn't melt in the heat. All sugars do have something in common, though. They are made by extracting sugar juice from sugar beets or sugarcane plants. But from there, many varieties of sugar can be made. Some great for leading a crunchy, sweet texture to bread, and others that are molasses-like, and they go well in barbecue sauce. So, um, I got my research here from where they asked different types of chefs um, to explain the usage of 15 different variations of sugar and how to best use them based upon their flavor and their texture. This is going to be a crash course, y'all. Okay, it's going to be a crash course. So there are many types of sugar. Okay, so we have invert sugar, molasses, honey, corn syrup, superfine, granulated, brown sugar, powder sugar. These are all the different types of sugar. So let's talk about granulated sugar, because the granulated sugar is basically the sugar that it's the most common, really. It's the most common of the sugar. We use that in everything, basically. It's from cookies to cakes. There's a good chance the recipe is calling for granulated sugar. The fine crystals made for standard measuring, as they don't cake together like any other sugar does. So basically, they use that because it doesn't clunk, it doesn't clunk together as well. So that's the granulated sugar. And then you have the confectioner's sugar, also known as powdered sugar. This is basically granulated sugar that's ground to a smooth powder and then sifted. It is usually mixed with a little bit of cornstarch to prevent it from caking. Confectioner's sugar is perfect for decorating a variety of baked goods. It can be sprinkled on a dessert or used to make icing. It is smooth and has stabilizing properties. It's often used in whipped cream, and you can actually make powdered sugar at home by blending 1 cup of sugar with 1 tablespoon of cornstarch. So when I was baking, we use a mixture, 50-50 mixture of powdered sugar and cornstarch to make it. So as I go through these things, you'll see some of the things that we're doing. I do want to remind you that I am on, this is my YouTube channel for my sweet Listines. I would greatly appreciate it if you would go there and subscribe to my channel. It doesn't cost anything to subscribe, and it would help me out a great deal if you would do that for me. So, talked about confectioner's sugar. Now, there's another sugar that's called a fruit sugar. Now, fruit sugar crystals are smaller than those of regular sugar. This is a type of sugar you commonly find in dry mixes used to make puddings or gelatin. Can't talk. Okay, so that's when we would use the fruit sugar. Go back before I get to that next slide. Then we have Baker's Special Sugar. This is a fine nature of Baker's. Special sugar is ideal for meringues and buttercream, as it dissolves much faster than regular granulated sugar. Developed for the baking industry specifically, you often see it as sugar used atop donuts or cookies, or to create fine crumbles. Okay, that's the Baker's Special sugar. Then you have the super fine sugar. It is a castor sugar or bar sugar, are some of the names that this sugar goes by. Superfine sugar is, you guessed it, made up of fine crystals. Because of this, it dissolves well in cold beverages and can be used to make a simple syrup for cocktails. I know we didn't know all of these things about sugar. Now, cane sugar is minimally processed sugar that is made from sugar cane. And if you ever, in some of the fine grocery stores like Whole Foods or Trader Joe's, they actually might have a sugar cane there. I grew up in the South, so they had sugar canes there. You could get sugar canes. And then when I went to Jamaica, they had them there, and you can actually break open. It's like almost looks like a bamboo thing. You can break it over, and you get the natural sugars out of that. I'm just talking. I'm just talking off the top of my head, but it's saying that you can get that sugar cane at Whole Foods store. And this sugar, you can use the pure cane sugar in place of the granulated sugar. Now, I use granulated sugar basically to do my baking. But like for my coffee and stuff like that, I like pure cane sugar. I use pure cane sugar for that, or organic. I used organic. And so then you have a coarse sugar. Now this type of sugar consists of large crystals. You often find coarse sugar topping baked items like bread, cookies, and Danish pastries. It gives a crunchy texture to the final product. The larger crystals also make it resistant to inversion, and that's the breakdown of glucose and glucose at baking temperatures. So the coarse sugar is good for fondants and liquor. Okay, that coarse sugar is good for that. Now I'm going to let you know there's a sanding sugar as well. Now the sanding sugar, I know you all didn't know all these types of sugars, but there's a lot of them. It's used to describe products that are already baked. Okay, this sugar is usually colored and sprinkled. So when you see uh, when you go to the store and you see the sprinkles and the stuff like that, that is what is considered coarse sugar. Um, and then you have what is called pearl sugar. Pearl sugar. It's a lot of sugars, y'all. Pearl sugar. Now, it's a thick, granulated sugar. It does not melt during the baking process. Schools usually will use pearl sugar in their classes, like, the culinary school. They will use the pearl sugar. And that sugar is made by compressing white sugar to keep it from dissolving, even inside baked goods like those delicious waffles. Okay. And then we have brown sugar. And brown sugar comes in two colors. We have light brown and dark brown. So let me tell you about light brown first. So brown sugars are made by adding molasses to refined sugar crystals. So for light brown sugar, you would add less for the light brown sugar, and then you would add more for the dark brown sugar. The extra moisture from the molasses is what keeps your chocolate chip cookie a truer consistency and a deeper, more complex sweetness. So light brown sugar is most commonly used in baked goods. Now that's according to the Sugar Association. I use both. It just depends. Sometimes if I want a darker cookie, I'll use dark sugar, brown sugar. But if I want a lighter cookie, I'll use the dark sugar. It basically, the dark sugar is used in baking to produce a more complex caramel and toffee flavor. This rich aroma is just right for gingerbread cookies, as well as baked beans, barbecue, those type of things. And if you are making your barbecue sauce or your your baked beans and stuff from scratch, or your gingerbread cookies from scratch, then you're going to use the dark brown sugar. Now, there is another sugar called free-flowing brown sugar, and I'm going to talk about that, and then I'm going to break a little bit, and I'm going to show you this commercial. Someone did a commercial for me, and I wanted to show this commercial, so I'm going to break a little bit and show you. But let me tell you about free-forming brown sugar. So it's and you know, when I say this, my mom used to have oatmeal, and she would put brown sugar in her oatmeal and her cereal, free flowing. So sometimes they call it granulated brown sugar, and we're going to talk about that a little bit after I show you. I'm going to try to show you this. I'm going to try to show you this video here with my commercial on it. Just give me a few seconds here. Let's see what I can do here. I think this is it. Hold on, yeah. I'm coming. All right, so I'm going to show you this. Here we go.
Oh my goodness, the mailman came. I hope my sweet little thing cookie's in here. Yeah, I just hope it's in here. Let me see. Let me open this up. That's it. That's it. Sweet little thing cookies. That sweet little thing cookies. Oh, I'ma have me a ball now. Let me just get this right here. Little thing cookies. That sweet little thing cookies. Oh yeah. I finally got my cookies. The sweet little thing cookies. Oh yeah. I'ma have fun. This package kind of big though. Man, it got a lot of cookies. Oh yeah, this the best day ever. I'm trying to tell you, I got my cookies, and I'm gonna eat these cookies, and ain't nobody gonna stop me. Wait, what?
Marie, what you doing, man? You can't have those cookies right now. I'm sorry, we about to eat dinner. Once we finish dinner, then you can have those cookies. Go ahead, put them up. Go ahead, put them up.
Are you serious, bro? I got sweet Listeine cookies, and now I gotta wait for dinner? Fine, can I at least look at the cookies? Thank you. Oh my goodness, I wait all this time now. I got to do all this. Fine. Oh yeah. I got my hands on sweet Listeine cookies. But I can't eat them right now because bruh talking about I gotta wait to dinner. Okay, I'm gonna do that. But once I finish that, it's gonna be on y'all. Wait a minute. Bruh talking about cooking some food. All this is a can of salmon and some frozen biscuit. Bruh cannot cook. I know he don't think I'ma eat this. Ain't no way. Bruh. Hey, bruh. Dad. Where are you? You set me up, homie. You had me about to eat a can of salmon and some frozen biscuit. I'm not down with that. I want my sweet Listeine cookies. My sweet Listeine cookies. Dad.
river. I would rather never sin. Marie. Hey man, it ain't what not what you think. I'm sorry. I was just gonna eat one cookie, but I ate them all. It's not my fault, Marie.
I know better than this. You try to set me up, homie. You had me eat that nasty food, and you ate all the cookies?
Punish him.
No, Marie. No, Marie. No.
Hey, family. I'm sorry y'all had to see that. But what did we learn today? One thing we learned is you don't mess with Marie and you don't mess with his sweet Lestane cookies. Tell him that right, Kurt.
That's right, y'all. Don't mess with Marie and don't mess with his sweet Lestane cookie. That's all I got to say. I'm sorry.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that. A friend of mine did that for me. They're part of the CTI Media Network, and they did that for me quite a while back. So I thought I would bring it back. I want to let you know you can also reach me at, this is my Facebook page here if you want to reach me. And you can also reach me through the CTR Media Network as well. So I'm going to go back to my presentation on the types of sugar. And I want to talk to you about turbinado sugar. And this is a sugar. It is produced after the crystals are spun off from the molasses. But before these crystals are refined and bleached, the larger golden granulated retains more of the complex flavor and makes a lovely addition to your teas and coffee. Now, another name for this type of sugar is raw sugar. Okay, so it comes, it's a little brown, but I use raw sugar as well, and sometimes in some of my beverages as well. Now, at the beginning, I talked about muscovado sugar, and that's the one that gives you that butterscotch flavor. And you can find it, you can find it in little bags. This is really real sugar. You don't want any artificial sugar. And it's the least processed of all the sugars in the market. And it also retains its complex sweetness. Now, they use this a lot in butterscotch. Things that have a lot of butterscotch in it. So butterscotch candy and butterscotch pudding, you'll find this type of sugar in it. Then we have liquid sugar. And it's simply just syrup or liquid sugar. It has a 1-to-1 ratio of water and white granulated sugar. And this sugar is not crystallized, and it's uniformly melts into liquid. This could be the most commonly used sweetened drinks like coffee or tea or cocktails or whatever. So let's look at my next slide. How well do you know your sugars? You see all of these sugars here. So how well do you know your sugar? So some of these I've gone over. You'll see honey. I didn't include honey in this one, but it is a sugar. And then we have sugar has many names, y'all. It has many names. So let's look at some of these names here. Look at this. All of these are names that have been given to sugar. Okay. Let's go on. Let's see. Now, in some, this slide is kind of fuzzy, but in some products, you'll find out that the sugar is hidden. That's why, we encourage people to read labels, because sometimes they hide the sugar in there, in the thing. They don't come right out and say it, but if you look at the label, you'll be able to see the different types of sugar. And then sugar has different names. I believe this is this is 75 different names for sugar. Coconut sugar, confectionate sugar, corn syrup, ice and honey, high fructose corn syrup, grape sugar, that sorghum syrup, sweet sorghum. There's the turbinado sugar, and that's, like I said, that's raw sugar. They call that raw sugar. So this is just a little thing on which sugars. I'm going to show you another commercial, and I want you, if I can pull it up, y'all. Let me see. Hold on. This one here is, I'm a part of the CTR Media Network. What's happening here? Just bear with me a few moments. So I am a part of that, and I kind of wanted to show you a little bit tell you a little bit about that company as well. So I have a commercial for that one as well.
You are now listening to.
Hold on, y'all. Let me get it here on the right. Oh my God, hold on. I'm doing something wrong. That's why I'm practicing this.
CTR is who we are, the media network, that's the best by far, CTR, media network, CTR, media network. CTR is who we are, the media network, that's the best by far, CTR. CTR is who we are, the media network, that's the best by far, CTR, media network, CTR, media network. CTR is who we are, the media network that's the best by far, you know. CTR, media network, CTR, media network. CTR is who we are, the media network that's the best by far, you know. CTR, media network, CTR, media network. CTR is who we are, the media network that's the best by far, you know. CTR, media network, CTR, media network.
Okay, so I hope you like that too. I am part of the CTR network as well. So I wanted to give them a little shout out as well on my program. I will be back on here tomorrow, not on my Sweet Listine page, but on my podcast. I do a show and podcast, and it's going to be on goals and objectives. So make sure you listen to that as well. So as I close this evening, I want to, sometimes people ask, which sugar out of all these sugars, which sugars are the healthiest? Okay. Now you might be curious as to which one of the added sugars is better for you than others. Well, there is no way around the fact that added sugars contain additional calories. They are all metabolized by the body in the same way. And that's according to an article that was published in the Harvard Medical School. That's because sugar contains varied ratios of fructose and glucose. If the added sugar has more fructose than glucose, it doesn't mean it's healthier. Those suffering from diabetes are an exception, however, because they need to control their blood glucose. So a higher fructose, lower glucose sugar tends to be better. However, naturally occurring sugars that are in fruit are healthier than they are packaged with nutrients and fiber. So I hope you enjoyed this on the different types of sugar. Sometimes you don't realize that unless you are basically baking or doing that, you don't really realize how many sugars there are out here. And so I will be back on next week. I'm going to tell you this again, that I am going to look for my flyer. I am going to be offering a free cake decorating class, just a basic class to kind of, to refresh those memory. If you've been baking for a while, it'll refresh your memory. If you haven't been baking, you might learn a few things. It is not going to be on this platform. It will be on Zoom. And so therefore you will have to request the link. So look for the flyer. It should come out by the end of this week for that. And it's going to be held at the end of the month. So I want to thank you all for joining me this evening. I'm going to leave you with my 3 L's. My 3 L's. Live, laugh, and love. So you want to live your life to the fullest. Do those things that make you happy. And you want to laugh, do things that make you laugh, because laughing is good for you. And then the last thing that you want to do is love. Don't be afraid to, don't be afraid to love, it'll make you happy. So I want to thank you all for hopping on. And I am going to bid you adieu as soon as I get this. Hold on, I'm trying to find my wish you a farewell. And thank you so much for coming on.